Good morning, model citizens, and welcome to Hangout with Humanity. Thank you for coming this morning. I'm glad everyone can be here. And speaking of everybody, let's start off by checking in with people. Mr. Andy Ambrose, how you doing, sir? We have Lee from Anfield Road, layout in the loft. Bangachu Junction, Carl is here as well. Cameron from Caboose 121's here. We have Inked Rails in the house. Alan from Jumping Someone Else's Trains. I don't know if you could hear, but there's all kinds of sounds going on outside there. Hey, Norm Miller, welcome. Pete Clark, how you doing, sir? We have two members of the Sidetrack Sunday gang. We have Ray Boble as well as John from Schuylkill River Valley. Sparky 107, I saw that you're going to need to head out in a second, but thanks for checking in with us. Mr. Steve Don't Be Like Me Childers is in the house, and we have Timber Surf. I hope everyone's doing well. As you probably saw from the thumbnail, I'm going to be laying the Z-scale track today. But one thing that came up with me laying the track is I got a suggestion that I think I'm going to want to add maybe. But I thought before I started, I would check in with people and see what they thought. So Steve, are you just playing with your phone over there? What's going on?
It's my throttle.
Oh, your throttle. Hey, don't drop it. Geez, that would have been bad. Nice shirt. I see you did your laundry, though. That's a good thing. So
yeah, sorry, I missed last week.
It's all good. All good. So I'm going to save changes. Yes. So I want to show people what I'm thinking, and I'm curious to get people's opinion onto whether it is what I should be doing or not. So this is what I've kind of planned to do. This is what I've printed out. And down along the bottom, I've basically got a crossover going in both directions, right? So no matter which direction the trains are going in, they can cross over from one track to the other. But someone made the comment about how, you know, you want to have a runaround. Because what if you need to turn your engine around on your train? So what I realized I could do is this. So what I did is I removed one of the crossovers, and then I added a runaround here to this siding. So I'm really curious whether I should build this version of it with the runaround, or if I should build the other version of it with the two crossovers. Now, of course, if I build the version with the two crossovers, I could just buy another runaround at a later time. But that's just adding more money, so um, Andy says it's not what you should be doing. You should be finding a solution to world poverty and hunger. But hey, trains are more fun. They are more fun. We have David Atkins dropping in. I see Anthony Dodge is here as well. Tim from CP368 Productions, as well as Tim from Island Scenic. Sounds like we have two Tims in the house. I'm not sure who is Tim 1 and 2. We'll let them discuss that. Sparky says that doesn't change the direction of the engine, that just changes the end of the train that the loco is at, which is true. Two of my locomotives are GG1s, so they don't really matter the direction. I do have a steam locomotive, which would technically then require a turntable. So it's I'm thinking I'm just gonna build this original version, because I can always go back. It's much easier to add that runaround here than it would be to insert this crossover at a later time. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Steve,
Put
you
a
got any
crossover.
thoughts?
Yeah, if you put a
I'm
crossover
unmuting
on
you, by the
top.
way. I muted you, Steve, so all you're talking, nobody can hear you.
Why not put a crossover on the top? That way you do have a runaround.
So you're saying like pull the crossover out of the bottom and move it up here somewhere?
Or just add another crossover. Either way.
Yeah. So my original design had a Andy has a good question. Would the GG1 fit in the end of that loop section? I don't know. Alan says the two crossovers make the most sense to me, but then he's the local idiot. No, Timber Surf, you're not the Tim. Tim from CP368 is a Tim, and Tim from Island Scenics is a Tim. So the original reason, well, there's two original reasons. One original reason I put the two crossovers together was because it came as a suggestion. But the other thing that it allowed me to do that I really liked was that it allowed me to get some more space between the tracks on the upper side, which I thought was more scenically interesting. So that was that original plan. So Steve, just so you know, I keep muting you just because of the train sounds are being picked up by your mic.
Okay.
So Andy's making fun of me. There is two original reasons. Technically, there are two original reasons. I think he's making fun of my English, which I think is ironic because he's from England and he speaks funny English. So, it's all good. Just kidding, Andy. So that's that. So that's what I'm going to be working on. I've got lots of stuff on the bench. I've got my my board down that I'm gonna build all this on, so that it can be removable for when I want to do other projects. I've got my design printed out. I've got a bunch of track, and I'm just gonna sort of start building, and we'll see. We'll see that. Oh, I see. He's making fun of me saying that it was original. I get it. So I'm doing basically a plug and run. I'm not really doing operations. It's Z-scale, and I don't really want to be dealing with trying to couple and uncouple things. So it's not really going to be operations, but I do want to be able to have a circus scene in the kind of in the center with the sidings so that it looks, like a place that the train would come and park. So it's more of a design element than an operations element. Um, so yeah, Island Scenics, Tim says, then keep it as the first design, which is I'm kind of thinking as well that, um, Timber says Heath does not speak English. He speaks American, hence words are different. Plus he's a New Yorker. I am a New Yorker. I do realize one thing. My little trolley track, I don't have my train running, which I gotta get moving. Another project coming up. If people are curious, I have a alpha meter. I just mounted it into this project box last night, and I'm going to be getting that wired up. If people don't know, it's basically a volt and amp meter for DCC and DC and all that good stuff. So highly recommend getting one of these for your layout, and I'll discuss more why I think about that in a future video. I don't know if it's just me, but I love seeing that train just going back and forth. I just think it's so fun. But let's get building, shall we? So I think I'm gonna start with this bottom section here. Because that bottom section is what's going to sort of set the spacing for everything else, and this will kind of tie everything together. So I'll do these two turnouts back to back, then I'll add in insulated joiners here, then I'll do the other crossovers, and we'll keep going from there. So Steve, while I'm getting started, do you have any interesting projects to share with the people? I think he's ignoring me. We'll mute him again then. Alan, hey Alan, if you want, come up here. The link I just saw not that. The link just posted in there if people want to come up. But so Alan said, what board are you building on? This was just a piece of foam core. It's just that thin, whatever, foam core. So it does have a little flex to it, and I need to kind of, I'll need to sort of deal with that. But it's basically just foam core so that I can, get it off the desk when I need to. Heath, train going back and forth is the visual equivalent of white noise. It is. There's something so soothing about that. Just like, I feel too like the train's running in a circle. There's just something really, really soothing about it. I agree. That's, I got into model railroading for that part a little bit. So, Mr. Tyler.
Hey, everyone.
How's life in the fast lane?
Fine.
So what I am hoping is that one day when I ask somebody how's life in the fast lane, that their answer is gonna be, I don't know, I can't find the on-ramp. And if someone can tell me what show that response comes from, you'll win extra points. Or, there are no points. But so the answer to how's life in the fast lane is I don't know, I can't find the on-ramp. What show is that from? So this that I'm working with here now is they're all Rokuhan. This is a siding set. So it comes with the 2 turnouts, the 2 curves that you need, and the 2 straights to make the entire siding siding thing. I might come up at some point. I have spots of 4 bars where I'm waiting for a train. Okay. Well, if you can, all good. Touchdown and extra points wins the game. Absolutely, they do. So this is a siding set. They do come with directions. If anybody here can read these directions, that would be awesome. Let's see. Oh, it is in English on the back. That's pretty cool. I'm not going to set it up right now, but they are powered, which I do think is kind of cool. And what I'm probably going to do is cut these plugs off. And I have some of the old Atlas switch button momentary switch things that you slide back and forth. And it's my understanding from reading that those will work with this. So for now, we're just going to ignore the wires. But they are here. And the other thing with these that I think is interesting that I don't know the answer to yet is that these are just like Kato switches. You can move the screws and they change from being power routing to non-power routing and vice versa. I believe that in their current state, they are set to non-power routing. Non-power routing means that, if you have this set up, that your 2 branches, that whichever way you switch, only that one branch will be hot. Whereas if they are power routing, I have that backwards. If they're power routing, as the switch flips, it switches the power from one rail to the other. Non-power routing means that irregardless of the direction of the switch, both the tracks are hot. So these come set as non-power. No, these comes. I don't remember. If anybody here remembers, let me know. Yeah, here in the directions right here, it talks all about the power routing and the non-power routing. So I know I'm explaining it very poorly, but that's the explanation. From what I read, I want them set up the way they come from the factory. So I'm gonna just move forward with them as they are, and worst case scenario, nothing works. But man, Z-scale screws are tiny. That's pretty crazy. So let's go back to the overhead. And let's get building. So the other thing I'm trying to do is stay organized so that I know which tracks are which. But I was looking for the trash as if there was trash underneath. But hey, Rich from Trains and Things, K&R Custom Models. At least I'm assuming it's Rich, but it could be Ken. So if you want to identify yourself, that would be awesome. If you don't, so let's see. There we go. Oh, now getting started. Ray, that is a very good question. Chances are high, but I'm hoping not. The goal is not. So, but we'll see. I might. Hey, train inspector. Hey. The dog's back here doing dog things, so yeah. You got to keep an eye on her every once. And I've got a mess of spaghetti that I'm trying to fix. There we go. So, do people like music in the background, or do they like hearing my my wonderful voice in this setup? Boop. Let's try and keep this right there. Here we go. This is gonna go this way. I kind of wish there was a way that these wires unplugged. I understand that they're so small that doing that would probably be pretty difficult. But I'm not the most excited about the idea of trying to manage those cables. But we'll figure something out. Confused you won't be after this episode of Heat. Andy prefers that I sing. Oh, not to sing. Gotcha. Martin says crapping on the rug. No, luckily she doesn't do that. Oh, that's a good point. If it's just me, people can put on their own music. I'm trying to bribe the dog now. We'll see if it works. Let's see. All my music got recorded and flagged yesterday. Supposed to not be recorded, just live stream. If it's copyrighted music, you can't use it while you stream either. It doesn't matter whether it gets recorded or not. And I don't know how you would play music to the stream and not have it be recorded by the stream. The music that I recommend, if you look in my description down at the bottom, it says, I think it's music by Harris Heller, Stream Beats. I highly, highly recommend using his music. He is a Twitch and YouTube streamer who's also a musician, and he has spent significant time dealing with all of the sort of copyright issues with YouTube and Facebook and Twitch and all that kind of stuff. So I use his music because I don't want to have any issues with YouTube and being, copyright struck and all of that nonsense. Mr. Shane from Shane's Trains.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
You. What's going on, man?
Enjoying my morning coffee. If you can't tell, this is my Joe G mug.
Nice.
No, not really.
No, yeah. It was a good story, though. Either way, it was a good story.
It's your fault.
So I might not be able to do what I wanted to do without doing some cutting. So Shane, you haven't been up here before. Do you have a layout or any sort of train stuff that you want to share with people so they know who you are a little bit?
I don't have a ton of subscribers. I've got like 209, so there may be some people in here that have seen the start of my layout, but winter kind of shut that down with the brutal cold. Train Freak knows what I'm talking about on that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just can't keep it warm enough out there. So right now I'm just working on some customer locomotives, people that have sent me locomotives to fix up or add lights or DCC ready, stuff like that. I build a lot of kits and stuff during the winter time. I could show you guys what the locos I'm working on if you want.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
This one's already done.
What
It's
area of the country are you in? That it gets too
in
cold
Ohio.
to be out?
In Ohio, southern Ohio.
Nice.
Yep. So that big storm that swept through, basically it cut a diagonal line from Texas all the way up into Pennsylvania, straight through Ohio and West Virginia and all that. So we
Yep.
got slammed pretty hard too. So this is a GP 7 or 9, just a blue box. And when I got this, it actually had this shell on it, Western Pacific shell. Okay. But in the process of taking all the handrails off of it, if you guys can see that, cracked a big corner off of there because whoever put these on, it wasn't the guy, the customer, it was whoever had it before him, but they used super glue. So whenever you try to take it off, it's so brittle that it just cracks. And there's a bunch of holes down the side that cracked too. So I was like, look, man, this shell's trash. I've got another one. So I hooked him up with this one. Very nice DTNI shell. And he was psyched about that. So I got him fixed up with some, let me pop the shell off. I fixed him up with DCC ready and some Athearn lights. Now this motor, I'll go ahead and tell you guys because a lot of people don't realize this. This is like a Gen 1 motor and it uses a lot of power. So when you try to do the DCC board and everything like that, sometimes the decoders won't even work just because of the draw of the motor, but also it draws a lot from your lights. Let me undo these. I'll show you guys something else I like doing. Now, I just disconnected that from the DCC board without taking any of the wires off of the DCC board. And I do that with these neat little connectors here. Let me pull one of them out for you. I get these from Evans Design. They have LEDs and all kinds of stuff. And basically, if you guys can see these, they're just little 2-prong connectors. They come with a red and a black wire, and they just slide right into each other.
That's kind of neat.
There. They just slide right into each other. And they're very small. You can see from the side, they're very skinny, very small, and they work great. It's a lot better than...
That's for putting the decoder in or for putting the lights in?
Well, I use these to hook up the lights because with that, you can detach the shell when you're working on it.
Gotcha.
Because a lot of people, you know, they have a lot of really nice details, whether it be custom or from the factory. And in my opinion, I'd rather take the whole shell off and put it off to the side away from anywhere where I could elbow it or hit it with my hand or anything. So that's how I do that. And this other one that I've been working on for the guy is a really old Athearn PA. Here's the shell for it. And I put LED lights in it so far. It's an old school frame that's still got the pegs right here on the inside. And I got these new trucks for it. And they're made for an Athearn PA. It's got the plastic side frames, but they don't have any holes right here. So I've got to take this frame out to the garage and break out the Dremel and cut the posts off of it. But I'll show you guys. Oh, I love Dremels. I'll show you guys the LED lights I put in this one. I haven't figured out how to use Evans LEDs yet with the Athearn DCC ready boards because there's a difference in voltage. The DCC ready boards are 1.5 volt and the lowest voltage LED you can get is like 3 volts.
3. Yep.
So they just don't jive up. but I can show you. You can use the 12-volt LEDs, which here's the specs on those. And they come with resistors and bridge rectifiers. You can hook them up either way. It doesn't matter. They'll still light up. Let me hook this up here and I'll show you guys how good the lights work. Oh. See how bright those are?
Yeah, that is bright.
And with the resistors and everything, you can't overload them. But as you can see, I touched these leads together when the light was on, and then they did short out.
Yeah, that is definitely something you have to be careful about.
And just watch for smoke and sparks.
Yeah, so these guys are still talking about music, and yeah, if you're even thinking about paying copyright fees, I mean, thousands and thousands of dollars to copyright a song, or to pay for the copyright on the song, you're better off just using music that is not copyrighted. I mean, unless you can afford it, but yeah.
And there's a lot of the streaming programs and YouTube itself. The video editor has a lot of stock music that you can use.
Yes, it does. Canva has music you can use. I was talking about Stream Beats earlier, has music that you can use. YouTube itself has a music library. It's like don't get yourself in trouble with music. There are a lot of and you could pay for a subscription to Epidemic Sound or to Pretzel or to any of those online services as well. And
there's many
way.
more sites than that. There's many more.
Yeah, there's tons of them out there. I just know like Tom's Trains and Things uses Epidemic Sound, so that makes me think of that one. But there are tons of them out there. It's like to try and pay for music to use on YouTube if you're not making a ton of money on YouTube, like a ton, like you're not you're not making millions of dollars off of YouTube. It's just not worth it.
Right.
Pay for it, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, it's your money. Spend it however you want.
I'd rather buy trains.
Well, that is kind of right. I mean, this is if you have a train model, a train YouTube channel, the money spent on the trains probably would go a little bit further. So this,
I think a lot of people would agree with me when I say this, but to be honest, the thing I spend the most money on when it comes to this hobby is track and turnouts. Am I the only one that echoes that? Because
Yeah.
you can find a turnout for less than probably $20 or $25. So 4 turnouts, you're already $100 deep.
Yeah, these turnouts are pre-motorized. They're around $30.
Mm-hmm.
well, I'll tell you the solution to that. Don't have a layout.
Oh, well.
No, I mean, I'm kind of joking, but it's like that is one thing that sort of saved me some money is that I don't have the space for a layout.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't, I haven't bought a lot of turnouts and stuff like that. It's all been, it's mostly been, little stuff like this or t-trak modules, which luckily for me, has kept the track costs down. Andy Ambrose is saying, so there's no central point for paying rights fees. So Andy, there sort of is. There's ASCAP, and there's one other that I can't remember the name of right now. But like I was talking about earlier, if you do want music that has copyrights, just go to like Epidemic Sound or something and pay their fee and use the music that they have licensed. Don't don't try and do it yourself. It's
a mess.
it's a tough road. It's a tough road to go down. But
So-
Mr. Anthony's going back to work.
So whenever I saw the premiere video where, you know, it tells you how long until Heath's live stream, I said, "Oh man, Heath is laying track." I said, "You know, I better go find my binoculars because Heath is in scale." And then I read it and I was like, "Oh no, this is even worse. He's laying Z scale." So
I
I went
am.
ahead and got my spotting scope
Oh no.
so I can watch you lay track.
Nice.
I can't see otherwise.
Honestly, I'm kind of amazed I've gotten this far without putting my glasses on because I can't see what I'm doing at all. But yeah, I mean, I'm getting somewhere though. At least that's
To
positive.
me, from this angle, it's so small that it looks like you're in a track laying program on the computer. All I see is gray lines.
Yeah.
See the rail or the ties or anything.
Yeah, you've got to kind of have you definitely have to have a bigger screen.
One of these right here.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Alan, man, no problem asking those kind of questions. I mean, I love the tech questions, and that's a bit what this hangout stuff is about. I am going to point out, I want to show people a little problem that I'm having that I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to solve it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So I put insulated joiners here and here so that the inner loop and the outer loop were electrically isolated so that I could run trains in opposite directions on the two loops, which makes a ton of sense. So the insulated joiners, you can see are right here.
That's not where they, well, yeah, I guess it is. Yeah.
Right? So that's where they would go. But if you look, there's a whole bunch of space in them. So because I have these two things so close together, I now have a big gap in the center.
Oh, what'd you do, Heath?
Well, it's because I've got one insulated joiner here and one insulated joiner here that both have space to them, which is then creating this big gap here.
Do you have any of the tiny pieces of filler tracks?
The smallest track I have is 25 millimeters. What
You
I
might have to
just remember though is they do have a track that is let's see. So the main, give me 1 second. So these regular straight tracks are 110 millimeters. They make these 112.8 millimeter tracks, which looks like it might be a little bit too long for this. But what they do sell is a 110 or a 100 to 120 adjustable track. Oh, or I like Andy's suggestion better. Or I do that.
Well, I think it's possible because of the way that the turnouts kind of have the track tweaked just a little bit, that if you use some of those, did you say 25 millimeter?
Yeah, the 25 is definitely way too big for that.
Well, yeah, but you take it apart on the top and the bottom in between the turnout and right there at the gap, and you put those in. And sometimes it might give you enough play to make it work.
So I can try that, and maybe I should just keep putting it together and then try that. But if you notice, this up here is my trolley track.
Yeah.
I've got the Z-scale track, pretty much as wide as I can get it to fit inside that trolley track without it hitting.
Call me
So
crazy. Why don't you put one of the extensions in the middle of the trolley track right there where it is right there, where the train is?
Because you can't see it, but it literally comes. It's hitting on this end to this monitor pole I have here, and it's coming right to the edge of the thing there. So I could possibly do that as well. But then, of course, I've already cut this to fit. So then I would have that issue too. I think I'm just gonna get one of those adjustable. I'm just gonna get one of those adjustable tracks, and I'll fill it in with that. And
Are they like pre-stored or something, and you just cut them?
I don't know. Let's take a look. Roku Con.
I'm wondering how
First
they
of
make
all,
tracks. Sorry, go ahead.
that gap is on a straight, so it's not that critical. You could take and clip a piece of rail, all right, just a very short piece, put it in the center of your rail joiner section, and put the two together, and away you go. Do a little solder, and you're fine.
Yeah, and that's it is likely I will do that because I just saw the price on. Let me share with you guys the price. Share on screen. Share screen. Chrome tab and. So there's the price on one of those adjustable ones. So I think I'm gonna try and find any other solution to doing.
You got
that.
track nippers, right?
I do. Yes, I do have track nippers. The hard part is that this is Z scale. Right. So like with HO scale, the wheel flanges, it wouldn't matter, right? I mean, you could put tape a little rock in there and it would be fine. With Z scale, yeah, they're talking about here's the little screws. Let's see, I don't know if you can barely even see them. But with Z scale, I'm a little more nervous about the creating a track issue before I even get this thing started. But I do like your idea. I could just nip some rail and put it in put it in the connector itself.
Right.
And if it's not smooth after you install it and solder it in, just take you a little file, go at it a little bit. Even us HO scale guys have to do that.
Yeah, I do have my little files, so
yeah.
But see, that's why I have you guys around. I mean, even in my design, I don't know if you can see it, but there's actually a little gap here that I couldn't close. But I figured because it's got this whole loop, I can just pull that together without, there's just enough flex in it that I'll be able to connect that without issue. So I didn't bother, buying a little adjustable section for that. Sorry, totally irrelevant. Oh, Andy's talking about fuel prices. See, Andy, that's what I like being in New York City, is there's no, I don't have a car. Don't have to worry about fuel prices. Okay, we're getting closer to having an entire loop. So R008 is what? What the heck is R008? It's not a 25. I think it's a 55. I just got the wrong thing, so I think it's this 55. They have different like numbers on them sometimes, and it's really confusing. But Andy, come on over. I know a woman that would love to have you come live in her house with her. I'm just kidding. I'm really kidding. That was probably inappropriate, but you know. Why not add feeder and use the isolated joiners in the gap? I don't really want to. I mean, yes, I could add another isolated joiner in the center here, but I think the nipping the rail idea is probably thing. So CAMP has just pointed out I'm at 988 for those that aren't obsessively watching my subscribers like I am. So yeah, it's I'm getting close. If anybody's got 12 friends that love model railroading that might be interested in my my layout, let them know. But yeah, I'm trying to get to 1,000 by March 13th. So let's see, it's 12:16. Why don't we? I'm gonna mute Steve, and I'm gonna go through my announcements, and then Shane's got a little announcement as well. So Northland's meet and greet, it's in 2 weeks, Saturday, March 13th. It's 2 weeks away. So I'm at 988 subs, and my goal is to get to 1,000 by March 13th. So that's the game I'm playing. So along those lines, I have a new video coming out at 4 p.m. today. So if people like videos, check that out. Also, CMR products. They make this slicker in. They make my t-trak modules. They make this sound module that you can upload sounds. Steve Childers actually has one of these as well. But they just increased the discount. So if you use the code HUMAN at checkout, you used to only get 7% off. Now you get 15% off. So if you thought about any of their stuff, check it out. Oh, one of the things that they make that's really interesting too are the same process that they use to make their t-trak modules. They call it Tab Tech. They also make organizers for your desk. So they have like paint organizers and tool organizers and drawers and all that kind of stuff as well. So that's kind of cool. And then also Iron Planet Hobbies, great DCC pricing. Check them out. Check them out. 10% discount code HUMAN, 10% free shipping in the US. So let's see. Buy me a model. The pinned comment is something called, it's a service called Buy Me a Coffee. It's a little bit like Patreon, except you can just do, I noticed my viewers just completely dropped off when I started this. You can, it's like Patreon, except it's just another service. I like it. If you go to the link in the pinned comment, this weekend on Sunday, Sidetrack Sunday is Ray. Ray Boble, I don't know if you're still here, Ray, but if you are, feel free to tell us what you're up to this weekend. And then later today, we have Anthony Dodge at 3:30 doing a live stream. At 7 p.m. is Rodney. And then at 8 p.m. is, 7 p.m. is Rodney, Hot Rod Rodney 25. And then at 8 p.m. is Vinny, which is BNSF 6951. Shane, before you do your thing, let's see if maybe some people will come back. But this is apparently nobody wanted to see me laying track today. But before we do, let's bring up, we got Tim from CP368 Productions. It looks like he's got something interesting going on in the background there. And then we also have Lee from Anfield Road Layout in the Loft. But Tim, what is that going on there, Tim?
I'm trackside at the Arcade in Attica.
That is cool. Is the Arcade in Attica, I guess it's a little excursion type of thing? Is that what we're seeing?
It's excursion and freight, but this is their excursion power parked until, like, their excursion cars parked until May.
Wow, that's really cool.
They run the excursions from May to October.
Yeah, from your view, it looks like it's a little cold out there to be running the excursion trains right now.
Actually, it's 35 degrees. That's warm.
Oh, well, there you go. I'm just looking at all the snow on the ground.
It was 50. It used
What
to be
part of the
warm.
country are you in,
It's
Tim?
melting. Wyoming County, New York.
Oh, right.
Right now,
You're in New York. I forgot about that.
Right now, I'm in the extreme southwest corner.
Of your county or of New York?
Yeah, of the county.
Gotcha.
I was over at Blue Steel Feeds where the interchange is with the Buffalo and Pittsburgh, but was getting horrible service and it kept cutting out.
Ah, gotcha. Well, that's a pretty good view there.
Yep. The engine
So,
house is
Mr.
over
Lee,
there.
what are you up
that
to?
wood building.
You work there, Tim? Oh. What's up, Lee?
I'm just waiting for glue to dry on a project that I'm working on. It's over off the bench. I've just finished it, so I've got something else on the bench. I'm doing a window.
Of course, something you're doing involves glue. But
it's not me if it's not glue, is it?
Not at all.
I'm just putting the framework around where I've just put the window, plastic window in. I'm just putting the framework around it now. But time consuming.
So you're not going to put the window in with a hammer?
No. No.
I'd like to see you attempt it.
No. I'll leave that up to you if you want, Jason.
Jason, are you sitting railside today? You gonna show us some trains?
If they come, it's raining too, so. That and I'm
Supposed to do that here Saturday.
They said it's supposed to rain for the next 3-4 days. It's just like continuous rain, but it's like a mist, so it's not like pouring down.
Nice.
So, but yeah, if one comes through, I'll pop up on camera and let y'all see it.
So Shane, now that I'm done talking, it went up to 29 and now it's back to 18, but
That's probably because I got on here.
probably.
Or me, one of the two.
I don't know if you want to talk to what you're up to.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about, it's not really a contest. I'm calling it a community project. Anybody watching the channel probably seen, and I don't remember if it was my last video or the one before that, but I'm making a YouTube train, and I'm going to have other people in the community make box cars or rail cars that are themed specifically to their channels. And then I'm going to send the YouTube train on a tour of the United States to pick up these box cars. Now, there's a lot of technical things that we've still got to work out, which is why this is sort of a long-term project. I don't think I'm going to even be sending the YouTube train part of it out until probably this summer. But I wanted to show you guys some of the progress on it. This is the locomotive.
Oh, wow. That looks cool.
FP5. See if I can get a little less glare. And in case you guys are wondering, no, I don't own an airbrush. This is all rattle can. So you can do some really good painting with rattle can. You just got to be patient to keep your distance.
Right.
So that's the locomotive. Here's the box car that'll go right behind it. Essentially, I'm kind of setting it up like Amtrak has the express box cars that they use for baggage or mail or whatever like that. So this will be my baggage car, and not quite as anywhere near as done. I've got a coach. I may do two of them. I've got two identical coaches. I did the trucks for those in red also, and I'll show you guys my decals. These are the decals that I had made. Ron Brights made those for me, and I've also got some for my channel. So I'm going to make a box car eventually too, but it's something I'd like to get everybody in on. It's more of a way of connecting people and being able to represent your channel in a way that I'll be able to show often on my channel when the railroad's finally completed. Because eventually I'm going to get into live streams and stuff like that, you know, run sessions and stuff. And I'm just going to put this on the tracks and send it around with subscriber box cars, and that'll be like a big traveling billboard, basically.
If
Yeah,
people
well,
want to get involved, how should they reach out to you? And I noticed John from Schuylkill River Valley has put, I think this looks like a link to a direct video. Did you do a video on this?
I did. I think my last video, I took like the last 5 minutes to show the train and talk about it and everything like that. If anybody wants to get in contact with me, you can leave a comment on the video. I'm on Facebook, Shane's Trains, same name as the channel. You guys can send me an ad and a PM. I do already have a list of guys that have told me yes, they are interested. So I'll tell you guys what I got so far. I got Sparky's in on. Some of you might remember last year I won a
You're
Indian
breaking
head.
up for some reason, Shane. I'm not sure what's going on.
Okay. Let me know whenever it's back to normal.
I think we can hear you now. It was the audio for a second. It sounded like a fan was blowing on the mic.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, you should be okay now.
So last year I won an Indian Head Valley boxcar, and I told Wilmer just to hang on to that because I had plans for this train, so he's in on it. Darren from B&H, Heath said he's going to be in on it too. Crooked River, Bernie's Model Railroad, Joe G, TSG Multimedia, Jerry Satz In-Scale Trains, and Drew Still 69. Now, I know there's a lot more guys like out there that would really be able to make some awesome box cars to represent their channels.
Well, make sure you add me on that list.
I know Train
If you haven't
Freak.
already.
Well, you got plenty of time. That's why I said we're not even going to start sending it out probably till like late summer. That gives me time to finish the train. Oh, something else I want to mention. The locomotive will be DCC ready. So the guys that don't have DC, when you get it, you just take any random 8-pin or 9-pin decoder, throw it in there, and you're running trains. When you're done, you can pull it back out, replace it with the dummy plug, send it to the next guy.
Oh, nice. There you
Oh,
go.
there are some things that I'm still trying to figure out. And if you guys want to like message me on Facebook about this or whatever, but I would still like to be able to get the Canadian guys, and somehow, even if we could figure it out, the European guys, the guys from England and stuff like that, I want to figure out a way to get them in on this too, because just because they live across the border shouldn't exclude them. You know what I mean?
We try and exclude them all the time. No, I'm just Andy Ambrose might be a good contact for that. He's got a lot of he knows a lot of people over on that side of the pond.
Okay.
Didn't we fight a couple wars to exclude them? Excuse me.
What'd you say, Steve?
I said, did we not fight a couple of wars to be able to exclude them?
Yes, we did.
It's a joke.
That is true.
I was thinking like maybe something along the lines of, say there's a group of 5 or 10 guys that all want to make box cars. So they make them, they send them to one location so that we don't have some kind of issue with like bouncing back and forth across the border and all these crazy charges and everything like that.
Yeah, no, that sounds like that would be the way to do it, is to kind of have, maybe not using your locomotive, but having some other locomotive to kind of do their side of the pond and our side of the pond, and then have it all come together at some point.
Yeah. And like the N scale guys, obviously they're not going to be able to run a train, a HO scale train on their layout. So those guys might have to, send it over to somebody who's got an HO scale layout. And basically when you get it, you kind of make a video picking up the box car, I guess, from the yard or whatever, and then heading out to the next place.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you know Keith from CAMP, but he does a lot of scratch built stuff as well. He was asking, do we send it to you? I think he's talking about reaching out. So, Keith, you would reach out to Shane. And if you reach out to me, I'll forward it to Shane. But the ideal thing to do. Andy says he knows a lot of people, but none of them like him. And Jason just spilled his food all over his lap.
That's what I was gonna say. Hold on, we just missed it.
Right
just spilled his drink
he
all
left.
over.
I was gonna highlight him. I was gonna make him big. Oh no!
Hey, that's your fault, Heath.
I know. Well, that's where I was going. That's too funny.
It's a blame Heath moment.
Oh
wow,
man,
that is too funny.
I got the perfect part for this.
And we've got it captured here on YouTube for the world to see for the rest of time.
Somebody mark the time. We'll have to go back and find that. But I don't know if you see Tyler from Lackawanna is holding up a boxcar there that he's got ready to go.
Sweet.
Still have to build the kit.
I sent Vinny a HO scale boxcar that he's going to do up.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys are interested in it, I'd like to get as many people in as we can. And I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll get so many people, I'll have to make a second locomotive.
You might have to fly over to England with all the cars in your bag for, I think it's 2021 or something. There's the big show is over in London for NMRA or something, 2022. Maybe it's 2022. Fly over there with the whole train.
I still have my passport from my time in the military.
Yeah, I still have a passport. I haven't used it in forever. Yeah, there we go. 2022 AT Crew. You can go to Crew, which is where Jason from Barnabas Junction lives, and Rachel from Minnie Wisconsin lives there. But yeah, so you could head over there with the whole train.
I thoroughly enjoy listening to a lot of the guys from England. Their accent is just wonderful, and I'm not making fun. I really just enjoy listening to them.
Oh no, we make fun of them. It's all good.
I get shame. I get it constantly made out of me.
Lee, nobody knows what you said. We have no idea what you said. But we're gonna check in with the train freak, because it looks like he's not only has he gotten a haircut, it looks like he's redecorated his clothing a little bit too.
It wasn't my clothing. Most of it went between the seat and the console.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, well, that's good. At least it's where you can't get to it.
I know, and it's mostly ice. So eventually it's going to melt.
Slowly down there melting.
Yeah.
It might not melt for a month, as cold as it is there.
No, man, it's actually been up in the 60s and 70s the past couple of days.
Awesome.
And then the week before we were in sub-zero temperatures. So I mean, it's Arkansas. What do you expect?
Hey, next week everybody will have pneumonia,
Yeah,
and it'll be Heath's
Probably.
fault.
that's right.
Yeah,
No, I went to go
when
pull.
you took off,
pull my
everyone's like,
drink out, and the lid popped off, and the cup squeezed, so it went everywhere.
you know, there's somebody at Sonic laughing, saying, "I bet you that guy's out there, and he just got dumped his stuff all over."
For some odd reason, every time I order this drink, they like to pack it full. I don't know why, but it's like, I asked for a Route 44 vanilla root beer with cream, and they put
I'm
so
sorry.
much
Hold
cream in
on. What was your latte grande whatever order again?
Route 44, or do y'all say Route 44?
Well, we say
We say-
root, but
say
I've
root.
never heard of whatever that drink is you're asking for.
Okay, it's basically a Barks root beer with vanilla, and then you add cream to it, whipping cream. And so it's like a root beer float without the actual thickness of the ice cream.
Is this a Sonic thing?
Yes.
I've never heard of that before.
Dude, it's awesome. If you like root beer floats, it tastes just like a root beer float.
I think
think
Sonic is
cream-
the best kept secret in fast food.
Hey, I'm a foodie, so I can tell you all the good stuff to order at any of these fast food places.
Yeah, I can't do the dairy, unfortunately, of that Sonic drink, but I love root beer.
Well, get the root beer with vanilla flavoring and ask for a double shot of vanilla. If you get the
This guy-
Route 44, get a double shot of vanilla. If you get a larger, smaller, only get one shot. One shot.
You know, Heath, you should not have told everybody in the world about your dairy intolerance.
Why is that?
Well, I don't know. Maybe next meetup somebody might drop a creamer in your coffee or something while you're not looking. I don't know.
Would it be his fault?
It'll be his own fault.
You'd basically be getting roofied by the model railroading community. Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, I didn't say we were going to take advantage of you.
I thought that's what you guys did every week on here.
Well, that's a different kind of taking advantage.
Oh, gotcha. So I don't know if anybody can see what I'm doing because I'm so small, but
Well, it makes
I
yourself
wasn't even
bigger.
looking.
so all of the tracks that go next to the switches, which I'm guessing other people have seen, have this like little diagonal cut on them. So on my design though, I'm not using the standard pieces, so I'm having to chop the little corner off on this turnout to try and get it to fit in there. So that's what I'm working on right now. That's why I'm laying track with a knife. If people are wondering what the heck was going on there. I just realized.
Where's the hammer? Where's your hammer? That's essential.
I actually don't have a hammer over here.
Hammer and a chisel.
Hammer and a chisel.
I think I'm gonna drop out.
Thanks for coming, Tyler. Well, Shane, hopefully, looks like you definitely got a couple subs, and hopefully some more people will join the train. I guess the one question would be: is there a limit to the length of the train that you're trying to make? Like,
Honestly, no, because like I said, if it gets to be too long, I'll just make another locomotive.
yep.
How many people you got involved right now?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About 15 or so far.
I would go ahead and consider start looking into making a second logo, because
I
once
would
you get that 15 going, it's going to snowball, and 15 is going to turn into 60.
Yeah.
So I would
That'd
go
be
ahead and make a second one.
The only issue I think we're going to run into when it comes to size is whether or not people's layouts can handle a train that long.
Which would be another reason to kind of have a second one, because a lot of people will have a second loop somewhere.
Mhm.
Okay, so here's an idea. This is what you could do. Have a locomotive for each year that you do this, and then only include those cars as like a traveling set for that year.
Gotcha.
But each channel can only participate one time. So like if I was to choose to do it this year for 2021, so you got locomotive say number 21, limit it to like 20 people, and then do it again for 2022. But anybody who did it in 21 cannot do it in 22. That way it gives other people a chance to get in on it.
You know, something else I was thinking about, if it got to be to the point where there were just so many people involved that the train would be impractical,
Mhm.
that maybe you could take one box car and then put a whole bunch of channel logos on the one box car.
Yeah.
That's possible. I mean, maybe there's a circle of close-knit friends that get together and say, hey, let's just make a box car with all of our logos, and I'd be fine with that. You
So
know,
I
the
missed
only,
something in the chat, but they're talking about vice grips, a crowbar, and a 36-inch pipe wrench.
oh, they're still talking about the tools that you don't have on hand.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha. Rick the
And-
Tree
And
or Rico
they forgot
Suave
about
is here.
they forgot about the 8-pound sledgehammer.
Yeah.
But we'll leave that one for you, Jason.
I've got a 10-pounder. That's just my preference.
I mean, I've also got the 52-inch wrecking bar as well. That really helps get things apart from each other.
I've got one of those hammers that's like this long, like the guy off The Walking Dead carries. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I got one of those. They're like this long. I got it just because of The Walking Dead. I couldn't help
I was
it.
gonna say, what do you use it for?
It's waiting on the zombie apocalypse.
Hey, Jason, I think we found your brother in chat. Jay Barker
All
said,
right.
I get a Route 44 vanilla Dr. Pepper there, the best there.
It's something about their soft drinks with their ice.
Crusader
And the
06
vanilla
says a
flavor.
sonic screwdriver.
I better mute my mic if I'm going to be doing
I think the chat has gone off the rails completely.
That is all right. Oh, one
Pretty
thing that
normal
I
for
did.
your stream, Pete.
Yeah, pretty much.
One thing that I forgot to mention, there's only like one actual like rule that has to be followed to the T. You got to have metal wheels, good free rolling metal wheels, and you got to have KD metal couplers set up at NMRA height. Okay, it's just
All
going to
right,
make
hold on,
everything
hold
so
on.
much easier
I
for
got to
everyone.
pause you on that one. On the KD couplers, you got two types. You got standard head and scale head.
Mhm.
Standard
use
is equivalent to your number 5. Scale head is equivalent to number 58.
And they don't mesh very well together. So we're probably
No.
just going to use the standard heads because that's kind of what most people have on hand. I'm sure everyone could probably open a drawer and pull out a set of KD number 5s, you know? So,
I couldn't.
well, we're talking about Heath here.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't have a hammer, you don't have a crowbar, you don't have a pipe wrench. I mean,
I don't have a nail gun. That's
no.
something I need for Z-scale modeling.
No, the nail gun is strictly for entertainment.
Oh, okay, I missed that.
Yeah, you put balloons on the wall, blow them up and put them on the wall, and then you go back on the other side of the room and try to shoot the balloons out.
Oh, now that sounds good.
I mean, it's great unless you have a neighbor.
Living in an apartment building, I've got several of them
Oh, well, it might
in
not be
all
a good,
directions.
it might not be a good idea.
Yeah, probably not. New option to support Heath. Buy Heath a big tool. I thought I was a big tool. I thought that's
That's
what
what I was
I
gonna
was.
say. You beat me to the punch. You beat me to the punch line. He is a big tool.
It's better if I take it on myself than let other people, do it for me.
Have other people run rampant?
Exactly. How did it become 12:45 and this is all I have done? It's a freaking Z-scale layout. What is going on?
It's Heath we're talking about, though.
Man,
Hold on. Heath, how long have you been working on this?
since 11:30. Well, the design I've been working on for a while, but this I've just been working on since 11:30.
So that'd be 10:30 minutes. So a little more than an hour, almost an hour and a half. You're halfway there. You still got another hour and a half to go.
No, this part will go faster because cutting these pieces took a while, and I only have to cut one more piece over there.
Well, I mean, think it took you 3 hours to get your in-scale layout together.
That's true. That is true. Crazy Joe, how are you and Chi-Chi doing?
He had it together in like 30 minutes, Jason. It was the extension of trying to get something to run all the way around. We haven't even tackled that yet.
Very good point, Steve.
Hey, keep it down over there, Steve. Don't make me mute you.
Don't be like me.
I'll if he comes on my show Sunday, I'll just keep muting him.
Absolutely. Trying to get this coupler lined up in the right spot. Every time I push the little plastic piece in, it pushes itself in. It's like it's
Are those cheese sticks, Jason? Sonic has the best cheese sticks.
Yes, they do.
Look at Joe's like, yes, they do.
Jason, you know
gotta
why
have
that?
it. You got to have it with this stuff right here.
Oh yeah.
Jason, you know why that drink was called the I-44?
What is that?
You know where Sonic started, don't you?
No.
Oklahoma City.
Oh.
Which is about the center point. Right.
I didn't know Route
44.
44. I didn't know Route 44 went through Oklahoma City.
St.
Check out
Louis
Joe's-
to Wichita Falls, Kansas.
I didn't know that.
You go St. Louis to Joplin to Tulsa to Oklahoma City to Lawton to Wichita Falls, Texas.
Look at that. We're getting geography lessons.
We're getting geography lessons.
Check out Joe's tree, guys.
Oh, that's cool.
Looks like a haunted tree, Joe.
That's what it is. They ain't done
That
yet.
Ah,
That or it looks like someone rolled it with toilet paper and then went through a few rainstorms.
Oh, shit.
No one
I gotta,
paper in times like these.
or icicles hanging off a tree.
Yeah.
that's, I
Well,
gotta,
if you're in Texas,
I gotta
that's
take
a
some gray to it, take some pastel and dry gray off of it also. But it takes time because you gotta let it dry, then pull it down, and then you come back and add a little more places. But I'm making a dead forest, so I gotta make more.
What is the material of the white stuff? Like what are you using to model it?
Cotton
Cotton
balls,
balls.
blue.
Andy says that's nice, Crazy Joe. Rick says, is that ice? Tim had to head out. His battery was running low.
I honestly thought it was a winter tree also at first.
Here's one of the other trees. This one's plastic, but I like the way it came out, so I'm going to use it also to do the same thing. It's just took a heat gun, heated it up, and bent it around.
It looks
Hey,
good.
Steve, you see that question from Rico Suave?
No, it's
no.
clips. But here's one I ain't even close to being done. I got to paint it still and add everything. To make these, the wire ones, it's tissue paper, floral wrap, and a lot of wire wrapped together.
Steve, Rico Suave wants to know if you ever change your shirt.
Yeah,
I-
and I got a very sick little bird, and I don't give a rat's about
Not you,
it.
Joe. We're talking about Steve. Steve, who's wearing the Blame Heath shirt.
It's my uniform, Rick, for Friday at 11:30 and for Monday evenings.
So, Rick, what Steve is not telling you is he actually bought 7 of those from Heath, so that way he had one for every day of the week.
Yeah.
I wish he bought 7 of them.
It's like a security blanket. Just nice to know Heath is always there to blame.
Yeah.
Blame.
I'm
one
the
piece
visual
away from having
reminder.
2 loops. What'd you say, Steve? What about a reminder?
I am the visual reminder
Yes.
to blame you.
Where's your wife's shirt?
I need to order her one. After,
I don't
what
think
was it, 2 weeks
everybody.
ago?
I don't think everybody here has seen her version.
She's not home at the moment, but she got jealous that I only had one shirt for me. So one day during the Friday Hanging with Heath episode, she comes walking in a white T-shirt and she had made herself a logoed sign that she taped to the front of her T-shirt that said "Blame
I
Me."
saw that. I saw that episode.
That was hilarious.
It was hilarious. I think I was in the stream.
Yep.
In
I
hindsight,
think she met Rick somewhere.
in hindsight, I should be suing her for copyright violation.
We saw nothing.
We saw nothing.
Hey,
said the
hey,
judge
that's
was
called free advertisement.
That's right. That's right,
Even-
Rick.
Even
know.
if you did try to sue her, Heath, the judge would rule in her favor and say it's your fault.
Yeah, there you go. Rico Suave says Steve has 2 modes: Blame Heath on Friday and a palm tree shirt on the other 6 days.
So
Some
there's
kind of
one day out
Hawaiian
of the
shirt,
week.
yeah.
So one day out of the week, Steve is not supporting Rick.
Good one. Yeah, Rick was just jealous he didn't have all 7 days.
I am very confused right now.
Doesn't take much for you to get confused, Heath.
When are you not confused?
Heath, think about it, Heath. Trees, Rick.
No, I get that. I'm sorry. I'm not talking about that part. I'm talking about that I have to cut this track to get it to fit. And I'm confused why I would have to cut it, but I'm gonna have to cut the.
Did you probably use Did you use a wrong piece somewhere?
No, it's just I bet you if I read the directions, it would probably tell me tell me in the directions what I need to do, but I haven't read the directions. So, Jason, why are you rubbing your head? Is everything okay?
Oh yeah, everything's great. It's great.
Are you telling me that you would have read the directions? Is that what you're
Oh
implying?
no,
Yeah, exactly.
not at all.
No, I wouldn't have either. Instructions. If I wouldn't have read instructions. When do I read instructions for building models?
Yeah, you build models with hammers and glue. So,
Yeah, exactly.
instructions are overrated.
Yeah,
It's just a piece of toilet paper if you really think about it.
yeah, it is.
Exactly. Oh. You can have little pieces of
Especially for
Z-track all over.
welders, because you could try to put a
Wow.
welder's kit together and get lost and try to read the instructions and still be lost.
Yeah, they're
Or get further lost. Although I must say, the turntable instructions were very good.
Yeah, I'll give them that. I will give them that one.
All right, so if people are counting, I've got 2 loops.
Can you count past 2?
I don't see any
Wait.
trains running on it yet, though. So
I don't either.
If
Yep.
you look at the title of this stream, what does it say?
Putting track down.
laying
It's laying the
track.
track. It doesn't say running the trains. I've got to save something for next week. Tim says that's a scary smile. I'm assuming he's talking about Jason with his red shirt, who's usually in his red kill room.
I mean, I could put the net gator on.
You could. I'm looking. It looks like I got one more subscriber, but my subscriber count thing didn't go up, so I'm kind of curious.
It could have been someone who might have had their settings on private and just put it to public.
Or somebody saw this stream and unsubscribed and said, "I'm done."
Yeah,
I don't know.
could be.
Could be one or the other.
I think we know which one's likely.
But did you see my comment about Social Blade?
Yes. February 28th.
Yep.
So Social Blade also said that I would hit 1,000 by December as well. So, when I first started the channel, I grew a bunch.
I don't think it's not accurate at all.
Yeah.
It's obviously not familiar with Heath at all.
No.
Because I've been looking at it, and like when I was around the 420, like I boosted to 480 like real quick, like within a month, and it was saying that I should hit 1,000 by May 31st.
Yep.
But now since I've hit that slow spurt and I plateaued around 550 for like 3 weeks, now it's saying that I'll hit, I think it was like October, November, even if it's not pushed back further since. So.
Yeah, it takes your current growth level, not your average growth level.
Right.
So Rick here has a good point. Are you going to leave that V scale up, or is it going to be on that mat and where you can just pull the mat out and it's already assembled?
That's the point of this. That's the whole point of why it's on here. Because Monday night, but Monday night I'm going to keep, I've been trying for 2 weeks now to install Windows on that welder's kit. And every time I go to install the Windows, I realize that there's another step I need to do before I install the Windows. So this week, I'm going to install the Windows on my Walther's NMRBO kit. Maybe.
You may get it done.
Maybe. I'll tease. I'll give a little tease. Hold on. Let me make myself bigger. Hello, Gus. Hello, Split Rock. Rick is saying I had a good point. Me? Oh. Keith, what buildings are you going to be using on your lap? I have no idea yet. I don't know what I'm going to be. I don't know. I'm not sure. But what I do know is that after all of the comments and suggestions, so
About time.
Oh, an airbrush kit. Okay.
if you want to see chaos, it's coming.
Outhouses.
It's absolutely coming.
So what we'll do is have you and Rick on there together.
Yeah, and then Rick can teach me how to airbrush.
Exactly.
Oh God.
You know what I see happening?
Probably
Since
the
you-
same thing everybody else. Disaster.
Since you guys have been stuck inside on lockdown for so long, I bet you the next thing we're going to see is Heath painting his wife's nails with his airbrush.
Yeah, that's what laughing.
Luckily, she doesn't generally paint her nails.
Lucky for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that I have the turntable, then I'm starting the landscaping and buildings and stuff for the farm and my industrial district here, right? So the last trip to the hobby shop, if I'm gonna have a farm, I gotta have a silo. All right. So I bought the Walters concrete silo kit. And I was lucky because I found an old one and it was still marked at the old price of 14 and a quarter or something like that because they're like 17, 18 bucks now. So I'm figuring you're going to have to build each layer to the silo. But no, I get it home and I open it up and there's a grand total of 6 parts to this little thing.
What?
Make him big.
6 parts.
A kit with only 6
Yeah.
parts?
Only 6 parts to this thing. 3 parts to the circle, a top, a bottom, and the chute. That's it. 15 bucks.
Well, now you know why they kept the price at 15 bucks and didn't increase it to.
No. If you buy the new one, if you buy the same one that's made now, they're 17 bucks.
Right. That's what I'm saying. The reason the shop just kept it is because there's no the new one's not any better.
Yeah.
Things like that bug me about model railroad manufacturers. They buy these molds that have been used by 3 different companies before them, and they buy them at rock bottom price, and then they turn around and they start making kits and charge us out the yin yang for them.
Yeah.
I don't mind paying a premium for a good kit. But something like that's $5.
But a better bed.
That's why I like building all my buildings.
Like, for instance, like a good example is if you look at Walther's new steel series that they're bringing back. It's not new. Say it's updated. You can look at it and see it's the exact same kit as that they put out years ago, and it's $150, and just ridiculous prices for these steel mill kits.
Right. It's the same kit from previously.
I could scratch build one. Yeah, and you can find it on the internet for at least half of what they want for it right now, and you could turn around and scratch build a better one for cheaper or the same price.
Yep. That's why I like scratch building a lot of things.
What kills me is you got these people that aren't even into model railroading, but they know that the manufacturers, when they're producing things, they only produce like a limited run. And so what they'll end up doing is buying or pre-ordering several pieces from separate hobby shops. knowing that it will sell out. And then they put them up on eBay and mark them up astronomically to make a profit.
Yeah, there's
And
definitely a lot of that.
And it's either you buy it from them or you don't get it at all.
Gracie says she'll scratch build people turntables.
I've already got a turntable.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely see myself moving towards craftsman kits. But then when this Walthers NMRBO thing popped up again, I was kind of like, oh, for the price of it, and I'm still at the point where I'm learning a lot with every kit I put together. So I figured I'd wait a little bit on the craftsman kits and, work on some more Walthers kits, just as, more practice.
Right.
That's what I started on the Metcalf kit, and then I went from the Metcalf kits to building my own things. What I'm doing now.
So, Heath, I'm fixing to have to drop off. I just wanted to remind everyone that tomorrow I plan on live streaming a train show that I'm going to in Northwest Arkansas. I'm going to try to get there before the doors open, but I've been told in years past, because it's in a small building, that they only allow so many people in at once, at any given time, and they only do it one day. It's not a 2-day train show.
Yeah.
And it's a 3.5-hour drive for me to even get there. So I'm gonna have to leave at like 5 in the morning, my time, to make it by the time the doors open. So when I get the opportunity to go in, I plan on going live and sharing that with everybody. So I just don't know exactly what time yet. That's going to be the kicker.
So basically, keep an eye on your channel all day. So you should live stream the 3.5-hour drive, and and you sitting in line waiting, and then when you go in,
We might see what's going on.
By the
your
time I
battery will be
leave,
dead, and then you won't be able to stream the show.
no, because I got a cable. You're just not going to be able to see me on the way there because it's going to be dark.
Well, so it'll be basically
you
one
got
of
a dome
your
light in your
best
vehicle?
streams.
I'm not driving with that dome light on.
The stream will be better if people can't see you.
Hey, if I had one of those phone mounts like what Containerman has, I'd just show me driving down the road with the pitch black.
Well, I know where you can get one.
Where's that?
Probably Best Buy.
Amazon, they got everything.
Yeah, but if I order it from Amazon today, I won't have it for tomorrow.
You got to plan ahead, Jason. Come on.
I have one of those phone mounts that clip onto like your air vent, but because my air vents are vertical, as soon as I put my phone on it, it falls down. So it's only designed for air vents that are horizontal, like in my wife's car.
The other problem with the air vents is then you can't turn the heat on if you need to because your phone will overheat.
Yeah. But I always put my heat on the floor.
Crazy's saying get a blue light.
A blue light.
Yeah, so Steve 87P said the difference between kits and scratch builds is the actual time. I'm building a small store and it's taking a long time versus a kit that I could put together in a couple hours.
Well, when you're scratch building, it's like you got to make your pieces, and then so it's like you're making your own kit to glue together. That's scratch building.
Yeah, I'm doing a peak roof on this building at the moment, and it's taking time.
And then I know, like, once I get this Walthers stockyard, and I'm hoping to find one tomorrow at the train show. If not, then I'm just going to order it. I'm going to have to kit bash the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Because I just don't have enough depth, from where the track is to the backdrop. Walthers requires 9 inches, and I've only got about 7 to play with. So I'll have to figure that one out.
Have you considered scratch building your stockyard out of wood?
Yeah, I ain't got time for that.
That's so funny.
I ain't got the time or the patience for that.
I took 2 of the lifelike corral kits and made my stockyards out of those. But I didn't make it the way they said.
Yeah.
I kit bashed it, so. And I'm doing a third over here.
So what I'm thinking about, so the way the Walters stockyard kit is made, it's got 2 ramps, or what they call chutes. And between the 2 chutes is a holding pin, and then on the other side of one of the chutes is another holding pin. And then between the holding pin, or I guess on the back side of it, is what they call the runway. And then there's also holding pins on the back end of the runway. I should have enough room for the 2 chutes, the 2 pins beside the chutes, and the runway. I'm just not going to have enough room for those holding pins on the back end. So I was just going to kind of make it like an open, what they call an open field, because it is a cattle ranch. As long as they can load the cattle into one of the 2 holding pins, then they got the cattle for the 2 chutes.
And you can put more pins on either side if you want.
Unlimited on space on that too.
Jason, I gotta admit, I'm impressed with all your knowledge of
cattle
pins.
pins
From Arkansas.
Yeah, what do you expect?
I've got help. So, I mean, the guy that that owns the hobby shop that I normally go to the most. I've told many of you he's a ex-federal DOT inspector, Department of Transportation inspector, and he was assigned to the railroads. So he did a lot of working with the FRA.
Mm.
And I mean, his knowledge is insane when it comes to it, because for me, for example, I'm more honed in on one railroad, and most of us are. Like Steve is probably more honed in on the Burlington. I'm honed in on the Cotton Belt. I would assume Shane's honed in on the Chessie, where my guy, he knows anything and everything about every railroad in North America. All the way from Panama up to the Alaska Railroad. He knows it all.
Yeah.
So, and that's because he had to travel all over.
You were talking about the FRA. I just heard this morning that they passed a thing that says that all railroaders got to wear a mask now.
Mm-hmm. I've heard the same thing.
Yeah. I bet you not a lot of people
doing it already.
I mean,
say what?
When you think about it, you got a 2-person crew in the cab, sometimes 3, depending on the railroad. Typically, if they're in the cab, they would typically wear a mask. Like I know Union Pacific mandates it, and I would assume a lot of the Class 1s do. It's more your short lines that don't mandate it.
Mm.
And then of course, if your conductor, or even if you have a brakeman, if they have to get out and check something on the train, then they can typically take their mask off. And if the engineer is the only one in the locomotive, he can take his mask off because he's the only one. Where they have more problems with it is actually in the machine shops. That's where it's at.
Gotcha.
Well, I can understand that. I've worked in a welding shop before, and if somebody were to say you have to wear a mask, those would be stifling conditions.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be ridiculously hot, uncomfortable.
So this is what Arkansas does, or their law basically states, is you have to have a face covering of some type. It doesn't stipulate to a mask. So what a lot of them have been doing is they'll take a bandana, fold it into a triangle, and just, tie it around so the whole bottom is loose.
The old bandito.
The old bandito.
And
so that's what a lot of people here do.
face
The
shields
flat
provide better ventilation too.
Yeah, and a lot of them
I've
do
just-
that.
I want to get one of those masks that like goes around your face right here, and it's got the dots around the mouth, and it's got the slits for the nose, because it didn't say that it had to be sealed. They just said it had to cover your face.
Okay, now we're getting a little too political.
So,
I'm just
but
being
that's
I mean-
the reason why the FRA has mandated that, is because, like I said, your smaller railroads, they might only have 3 or 4 people in their engine and machine shops. Where Union Pacific, you might have anywhere from 20 to 40, depending on which ones. So, but I mean, that's as far as your mask mandate for the FRA.
I guess the railroad guys are probably used to all these regulations and rules by now.
Yeah. So, well, guys, I hate to do it, but I got to cut off of here. I got to get back to work, and I've got, I got 45 minutes to get to my next destination, and it's going to take me about that long to get there. So,
Well, enjoy, Jason.
Y'all too. Y'all take care. Have a great weekend, and hopefully I can live stream a train show for y'all tomorrow.
If you don't get a good enough signal to live stream, make sure you still video it and you can post it later.
I'll do that. I will definitely do that.
You might have crappy service or something. You never know.
Yeah. I've never been to this train show, so this is a first for me.
Where's it at?
Bentonville, Arkansas. That is the very far northwest corner and the headquarters of Walmart.
Springs. And JB Hunt.
It's in the city of. If it's in the city of.
That one too.
Okay, so all the people giving me crap.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, you got him. He's got 2 engines running.
He's got trains.
I see locomotives running. I don't see trains. I see locomotives.
Hey,
oh, wait a minute. Heath is still here? What happened?
So, Lee, how's things going?
Not too bad. I've just nearly finished that roof thing, and I'm doing it, taking on this build for 2 days.
So, Jason, you said you were leaving, right? Any final final words?
Don't listen to Heath and just blame him for everything.
Yeah, just blame him. I done it yesterday.
I appreciate that.
All right, y'all take care. I'll see y'all later.
I'm impressed it's going over the little split in the track without issues.
I told you. It's a straight piece of track. There's no reason why it wouldn't make it. All you're doing is trying to fill that gap so that it doesn't bounce.
But the flange, the wheel dimension on the Z scale is barely bigger than the hole between the track. That's the problem.
But it's still pointed. It's still pointed straight. Yeah. There's no room for it to kink to get into the gap.
So it'll run on it.
So I just have to run it fast enough, is what you're saying.
No, it should be fine, but I'd still put a piece of filler in there.
Yeah, I'm going to.
I think a lot of times as the scale gets smaller, the tolerances on trains get larger. Like the smaller it is, the more rough track and stuff it seems to be able to take. You get up in the end of the HO scale, and little issues seem to cause big derails and stuff.
On N scale too, I feel like that, but yeah, this is a GG1 too on that inside curve. That's a long locomotive.
Mm-hmm.
As well. So yes. Oh, see, and something keeps catching it up here at this turnout.
I like what Steve said.
Oh, yep. Get that on. What that Steve said. I thought you were talking about me.
Steve 80, he said, "Oh look, and there's no smoke."
So what I think I'm going to end up doing, That's a good point too. They're really light, so they don't really fall in. And with the number of wheels on these GG1s, they're still talking about interchange yards. So what I think I'm going to do is, right now I've got this little Rokuhan, try and show you this without, little Rokuhan controller. What I think I'm going to end up doing is I have the MRC Tech 2 2400s, the 2-dial guys. And since I've got the 2 different tracks, I've also got the old Atlas, switch track direction things. So I think I'm probably going to put those in and use those instead of this Rokuhan controller, so that I can have a little more control over the speed of the 2 different lines separately.
What kind of voltage does Z-Scale run on?
So Z-Scale runs up to 10 volts, technically, is what they say. This controller here can run off of 6, or maybe it's 8 AA's, or it's got a little 12-volt power supply. What I'm going to get is there's something called an AT880 from MRC, and it's a voltage, it drops the voltage down on the outputs, and they used to sell it for, like, if you're running this as a DC train and the top speed is too fast, you can put this in and then it'll drop it down. So I'm going to add those to the output of it so that it keeps my voltage at about 8 volts at top speed. Because I don't need, what do I need? I'm like waiting for it. What do I need them running this fast for? Like, it's fun, but it's kind of crazy.
So it's basically like it's basically like a dual polarity resistor.
Okay, I'll believe you.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like it's just a resistor that'll handle your positive and your negative at the same time.
Yeah.
So you technically use like a regular MRC HO scale, like a 1300. You could use one of those as long as you don't turn it up too far.
Right, exactly, yes. And some people have been known, what I love about this Rokuhan they're talking about is, you can run it off a battery so you don't have to plug in. So you can have a totally self-contained setup running off of batteries. Yes, some people have modified their MRCs and by just putting a screw in so you couldn't turn the dial all the way around. Like, it is as simple as that. But I found a guy on eBay selling them for $9.99 for 2, and nobody else was bidding on it. So I was like, well, let's see if I can get it for $10. Not a big deal. Get the real thing, or I should say, get the MRC recommended item. So tonight, Anthony Dodge. So Anthony Dodge is at 3:30, then 7:30 Eastern. Oh, Nordell is on as well, and the Scale Trains debate. Oh, that's right. I forgot that Drew was talking to the guy at Scale Trains. Yep. And then NMRAX is tomorrow. Yeah, Joey, see what happens? You give up Z-Scale, or you give up N-Scale, and it forces me to do Z-Scale. Sorry, Shane. What were you going to say?
What are they debating on that Scale Trains video?
I think it's a discussion. I don't think it's actually a debate. I think Andy just called it a debate to be dramatic.
I thought we were about what locomotive they were going to make or something.
Yeah, so Joey, if you're curious, back here is N-Scale, this little trolley setup. And then this is Z-Scale, and I've got it on a little board so that I can just take the whole board with me and, clear my workspace when I need to do some other work.
So do you have the N scale nailed down?
None of it's nailed down.
Okay.
None of it's nailed down because this brown paper you see here is just, it's just rolls of brown paper. Okay. So when I work on my workbench, and I get stuff all over it, I just swap the piece of paper out.
Smart.
And voila, a fresh, clean workspace.
So wait today.
So I'm going to start wrapping this up. So in that vein, Lee, what's any final parting words? Any last thoughts?
No, I'll put it back on me now. I've got my modelling Sunday on Sunday at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Your time on Sunday. I am actually looking for. See, I have got a couple of people, but if there's anyone that wants to come on the show and show their layout, they are welcome. Just send me an email. And I'll email.
Is your email on your about page on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. My email's on my about page on YouTube. If they email me, and I'll get back to them, because I am actually looking for other people to come on to show what they're doing and show what they're doing with the layouts.
I'll be there this Sunday, Lee.
Okay, Steve, I'll send you an email. I have got certain victims, but I am looking for a couple more victims.
Tyler's usually on Monday nights. I don't know.
Yeah, Tyler's Monday nights. Tyler's on Monday nights. He was on my show last Sunday. I didn't expect him to come on it.
So real quick, let's talk about the scale stuff before Steve talks about what he's up to. So TT is not smaller than Z. TT is between HO and N scale. T scale, single T scale, is smaller than Z scale. N scale is 1/160, Z scale is 1/220th, and T scale is, I think, 1/480 or 1/460. I can't remember. I don't remember what the scale is for TT, but it's between 160 and 87. Lee, Andy wants to know if we can ask you questions about Everton. I don't know what that means.
Oh, the football team.
Soccer.
He's on about football. Don't even go there, Andy. Over football. The bad
Joey, I will be doing Z-scale narrow gauge. So, okay. Back to you, Steve, because I do have things I have to do. Any final words?
I should be getting my roundhouse kits this weekend, so hopefully for Lee's and for your modeling Monday, I'll be working on those.
Awesome.
I'll
And
email you
your
for
wife will
model.
have a new shirt next week?
Well, it takes Teespring longer than a week, so, but I'll get one ordered for.
Shane, thank you for joining. Any final thoughts?
Just don't forget about my project, and I'll give you guys an overlook of some of my trains that I keep on display. Some of you guys might recognize that one. A very rare aero train.
Wow, that's cool.
They were a failure. They look cool as hell. You can't deny that.
Yeah, failure or not, they look cool.
Look at this. Look at this. Is that not like 1950s Chevy coupe or what?
See, I want to convert that thing to I've been into Snowpiercer lately, and I feel like somebody needs to model the Snowpiercer train and scene, and I feel like that would be a perfect starting point for the Snowpiercer setup.
Yeah, but you know, like the scale of that train is way. It's like a super wide.
I know. I love the night
like
scene.
Scale on G scale track or something.
Oh, I think it's so hilarious. Like they go into the night car and it's just massive. It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so
and then
out
they
of
go
scale
into the
that
next car and it's this little hallway 2 feet wide.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
now-
people weren't here earlier. Shane's
My tea's in the oven, so I need to go and check on that.
Okay, Lee, I was going to drop you out in a second anyway, so have a good day. And
Yeah,
just real quick to summarize.
Thank you for having me up again.
Absolutely, Lee. We'll see you next time.
I'll email you for Modelling Monday.
Okay, Lee.
For it. Take it easy. Oh, bye all.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Bill.
So Shane's project, if people missed it, is he's doing basically a YouTuber consist. So he's made the locomotive, as you can see on his screen there.
I'm trying to get it aligned. I'm backwards here.
You're pretty close. But yeah, so Flying Crow, who just popped in, is somebody that I think you should get involved as well, because he does a lot of scratch building of cars. So Flying Crow, if you're not already, get in touch with Shane's Trains. He's doing a YouTuber consist. And yeah. So I'm gonna pop the two of you guys down just so that I can run my little end bit. But if people would, check out my sponsors, check out my channel. I've got a video coming out at 4:00. In 2 weeks, we're going in Northlands for a little Northeast area meet and greet. And on that note, I guess have a wonderful afternoon.